my friends, good evening, good day, good morning. Much has transpired since you last saw this world of Minecraft, this Minecraft world, and I'm going to have to run you through it. But before that, I want to tell you a story. A terrible tragedy, Shakespearean in its proportions, befell me. I was in the world, I was playing in the world, right, the other day, just doing some kind of logistical stuff, and I thought, you know what the people want? Here's what the people want. The people want us to go to the mines. Or the people want us to go to the caverns, rather. You all, I could hear you in my head, haunting my dreams, clamoring to go into the caverns to do something exciting, instead of just building houses. So, I went out and thought, well, we have to go ahead and gather some resources, including food, to make sure, and possibly some leather as well to craft leather armor, to make sure that we can go into the caverns and do some exploring in relative safety. As I was jumping and running through the fields outside of my home, graceful, some might even say gazelle-like, I, in a very silly manner, fell down a very large crevasse, partially into lava, and became very suddenly deceased, which interestingly happens both in Minecraft and if you were to fall 40 feet into a cave partially filled with lava in real life, chances are this would also make you deceased. Unlike real life, however, in Minecraft we can come back and regroup and become stronger. But here I must confess to you a deep and a terrible shame, which I will carry with me almost certainly for the rest of my life. I lost my iron that I was carrying when I fell into the pit. It fell into the lava, and if something falls into lava, right, then it's gone. You haven't got it anymore. No more thing for you. It is eaten up, consumed in the fiery blaze, and I lost my iron, so I was very frustrated. So I did something that I probably shouldn't have done, and I got onto the Googles, and I just did a quick Google to see where to find iron in the latest version of Minecraft. And as it turns out that with this, not unlike many other things, I was completely wrong. I was completely wrong about where iron generates most. I had remembered that it generated around level 100, which is like the top of a relatively high mountain. And that was where the most iron was. So I'd been looking around what I thought was probably around level 100. It turns out that this, my friends, is not the case. I'm just going to jump in here real quick and turn. Let's go down here. I'm on battery again. I'm on battery, and what's going to happen here is if I render out this far, I'm probably going to run it. It's probably going to be eating my battery up. So we're going to go ahead and adjust that. Oh, what was I saying? But yes, I found that actually where iron generates mostly is around level 16. And I'm going to show you what I did in a minute. Basically what I did is I went down to the entrance to the caverns that we had, where we'd originally found that black stone, which I believe, if I remember correctly, is called deep slate, where we'd found the deep slate, and I thought usually deep slate starts showing up around level 0. That's about when we get to kind of like the deep part of the game, okay? So I thought, well, we're just going to assume that's level 0, and I'm going to go out about 15 or 16 from that, and I'm going to create a branch mine. And we're going to look at that in a minute after I show you just a couple of other things. What happened when I started mining in level 16 is I found very much iron, quite a lot of iron. In fact, I will show you, because I know you are rife with curiosity, how much iron we have. Currently, a stack of 61, no less, iron ingots. So, did I cheat? Perhaps a little bit. Possibly more than I should have. Probably more than I should have. But I'm gonna excuse myself that I did it for the sake of creating interesting content. That's not the right chest for this. I'll deal with it later. I run into a lot of interesting things in life saying, I'll deal with it later. Generally works about as well as you would expect. But let's go ahead. We're going to get ourselves a little meal there, a little snack. I realized I didn't turn my sound on, so I don't know if it was being recorded or not. Maybe let me check that. So I can't tell if we're picking up audio from the game or not. If there's no audio from the game, I'm sorry, I apologize. That's terrible, and I'll try to fix it for the next one. If there is, then I'm very good at what I do, and congratulations to me. So let me show you a couple of things before we look at what we're going to do with descending into the mines. First of all, finished up the tower. Probably should have put this on video, but I'm going to go ahead and give you a little bit of a tour here, okay? So we come up to our second level, and this is going to lead out onto the roof of the house, which now, you know, this looks like a very complicated, very big build, right? But actually, this is quite quick, quite easy to finish, not a problem at all. Second thing is I did increase my render distance dramatically yesterday. I just turned it down again because I'm on battery. But you can see here that it's still out high enough that we have the village just right there in the distance. You can see the village that I talked about before, and we'll go back to visit that at some point. Eventually here on the roof, what we're going to do, I think, is create a garden. So that's what these are. I'll explain that when we get to it. This is going to be an infinite water source. I'll explain that as well. And let's just go ahead right up to the top of our tower, and we'll take a look at that beautiful, beautiful sunset that we have coming in now. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I love it. Just the nicest thing. Even with the render distance turned down, you know, it's really looking good. It's looking good, and we can see out quite a bit. One of the things that can be super helpful for you if you're building like these tall towers that use ladders to ascend and descend is you can run into an issue where it's actually pretty easy to accidentally like jump down the ladder, and instead of hitting the ladder, you hit the air. What an odd way to say that. And you don't hit the ladder, you just fall and you die at the bottom. So one way around that is you just make a 1-block hole that leads into your ladder. That way, when you go down, you're always aligned precisely with the ladder. So you just have to walk until you fall into the hole, and then your ladder takes you down. Now, we're going to go into the caverns. It is nighttime. We're going to go ahead and sleep. Not really important since we are going into the caverns, but we're going to do it anyway. It's never a bad idea. And what's our next thing that we're going to do? Very exciting. Very exciting. We're going to craft ourselves some iron things. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these. And it looks like we have some sticks there. So what we're going to be doing, what we're going to want to do, is we're going to do a full set of iron armor. Deluxe, premier, beautiful iron armor, as well as a complete set of tools. So we got our chest plate there. We got our helmet there. I love it. We've got our boots there as well. And we're going to go ahead and grab our leggings or our pants. Very good. Now, given how much iron we have, we should also have more than enough for an iron sword. Lovely. An iron shovel. Couldn't be better. And we'll go ahead and get ourselves an iron axe too, though in all likelihood we won't be using that very much at all in the mines. And I don't want to carry 31 pieces of iron with me. I'm putting it into the wrong chest. I am going to take some of it with me, but in case we die, which is, you know, always very possible, I don't want to take all of it with me. So we want to review everything that we have here. We have a decent amount of food. I think that would be enough. We could maybe stand to have a little bit more. Let me see here. Maybe we'll bring some apples with us as well. We're going to want the bed. The boat should not be something that we need to put into the boat. The boat not something that we need in the mines. The ladders we probably do need. We've reviewed everything. Okay, it's beautiful. It's great. I love it. And we're going to go ahead and get ourselves set up here with that beautiful, beautiful, beautiful suit of iron armor there. Look at us. We are ready for anything. Nothing can stop us. Nothing can stop us, my friends. We are invulnerable. Let's go. Let's go down, and I'll show you exactly what I did down here. So, notice with this, I didn't do a 1-block, so that can be a little bit iffy, but, you know, we'll just be careful there, and we'll go ahead and let ourselves go down. And there we go. If you're very daring, by the way, it is possible to jump down the ladder area and go ahead and kind of move in midair when you get closer to the bottom and catch the ladder again. I prefer not to do this. I don't love that idea. So I generally speaking will avoid it, and I just kind of, you know, let myself go down the ladders and just kind of hang out and, you know, think about things, reflect, contemplate, all of that good stuff while I'm going down the ladder. So here, what we see here is a branch mine. This is a branch mine. This is to the best of my knowledge, the most efficient way to mine for resources. So what you do is you go ahead and you cut one long path. It can be 2 high, it can be 3 high. You can make it 2 high and then change it to 3 high later. It doesn't really matter. You'll go ahead and cut one long path, and then you can cut more paths, but the way that I usually do it is I start with the one path and I branch out from that. So you count 2 blocks, 1, 2, and then you cut a path. Go on that one for a while, and then 1, 2, 1, 2, and then cut a path there, right? And what this does for you is it makes it so you're hitting pretty much every available bit of, you're exposing every bit of rock that you can, okay? You're exposing every bit of rock. These ones you're going to see from this side. Those ones you're going to see from that side. So pretty much every bit of rock on this, I would assume that we're between level like 14 and 17. That's around where we're at. I doubt that I hit 16 exactly. I could check. But I vowed that I would not turn coordinates on, that I wouldn't do that. So we're going to go ahead and probably just assume that we're in a good place. And actually, I know for a fact I don't have to assume that we are in a good place, because as it turns out, I found quite a lot of iron. So let's go. We're going to go down here. Very thin corridor. We're going to go down here. We found a little bit of diorite there, but what I really want to show you, the really interesting, the really fascinating, the really wonderful thing is over here. Lapis lazuli. I'll come back for that. I can't even remember what it's used for, to tell the truth. Here, I found a much better cave entrance. I think, look at that, we already got a skeleton. So I think that it's an entrance to the same set of caves. We've got a number of zombies in here. Now, they've done something that actually wasn't very smart, and they've chosen to bottleneck themselves. Oh, interesting. We have a zombie attacking a skeleton. I actually didn't know that could happen. So I assume that's what's going to happen is the skeleton is going to win that. Skeletons, of course, fight with projectile weapons. They fight with arrows. So we're gonna let him go into this hallway and go ahead and take him out. You might notice that I'm not taking very much damage at all. The reason for this is my lovely, lovely new armor. Beautiful armor. Does not make me invulnerable, but a lot more invulnerable than I would otherwise be. I can hear that we have another skeleton there. I just want to go ahead and see if I can kind of chart what's going to be the best way down. Oh, he's going to hit me, isn't he? Where is he? Oh, he's coming up. Okay. So we'll just let him come up. We'll just let him go into our trap. There we are. There we are. Very good. And it looks like we've picked up a bow and possibly a couple of arrows too. That's lovely. Bow not in great shape, but that's okay. It's not hard to make bows. I'm gonna open this entrance up a little bit. So a couple of things that we really want to be able, when we're going into a big cavern like this, we want this entrance to be big. We want it to be very easy to see from quite a distance. And that means both, we're opening up the entrance nice and wide. We're also lighting it really, really well, making sure that it can be seen from a significant distance. Now, in all likelihood, what we saw just there, those are probably not the only issues that we're going to run into in these caves. Probably not the only monsters. Now, as long as the cave stays more or less like this, where it's just kind of a rock cave, there's nothing crazy going on. What we just saw there with the skeletons and the zombies are, as far as I can remember, that's about as bad as it gets down here. There's nothing really too scary. What you have to worry about more than anything, no, I don't think you see witches down here. I don't think that's going to happen. What you really have to worry about more than anything is you have to worry about getting attacked in numbers. You have to worry about lava, which I forgot about lava. I've actually done something quite foolish. What I should have done is I should have brought down a pail of water, which is a very important caving thing. But we're going to go ahead and see how we do without it. I'm just going to creep along here, just kind of lighting up along the way, and see what comes up. Now, I wouldn't be surprised because we're still at the level, so this is probably where we open out under the other cave. We've got a spider there, no problem. Spider's not particularly strong. Again, your only real issue that you're going to run into is spiders. We have some underground water here that's beautiful. The only real issue that you're going to run into spiders is if there are a lot of them, or they're sort of combined with other enemies. Now, one thing that I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to get this area, again, nicely lit up. And what we want to avoid here, if at all we can, is next time we come back, and my friends, we will be coming back, just making sure that it's a little bit easier to get in and out. So when we leave this area, when we're far enough away from it, the game registers that, well, it's going to be a pretty big drop there, it looks like. But when the game registers that we're pretty far away from it, some of those monsters there are going to despawn. They're going to go away. And if there's light here, because monsters do not spawn in the light, then what is going to happen, my friends? What is going to happen is that we'll come back and there won't be any monsters, which is just about as ideal as it gets. So if you're digging out bits like this, like I just did, one thing that you want to be absolutely sure of is that you're not digging out bits of the side that you're going to need to jump up onto to get higher. For example, to get back to where we came in. That would be bad. And we can see here, is that the door? I believe that's the door. I think I'm going to have to mark that a little better. What can I use to mark it? I really don't have anything to mark it. That's our door. I hate to use this many torches, but here's what I'm going to do. We're just going to ring the entire thing. Very distinctive, very distinctive. Not a design that you're likely to see many other places. And I think if I move back a little bit now we should be looking at something that's very, yes, okay, good. Okay, good. I love it. Quite easy to tell what's going on there. Interesting. Okay, so this looks like a very deep pit. Let's just kind of creep carefully over the edge, see what's up. Did I bring a bed with me? I did bring a bed with me. That's actually not that important. We've got some gold over there. Not really a necessary thing. It's a dumb stack of cobblestone. I can't remember what gold is used for. It is, of course, a very helpful thing to have, but I can't remember why. There's a lot of times in my life I've said, that's a really helpful thing to have, but I can't remember why. But we'll pick it up if we get to some that's a little bit easier to reach. This really is very steep, not the most pleasant, so what I'm trying to do here is just make sure that we're leaving ourselves with an area where we can climb back up in relative ease. Come on now. There we go. So we always want to be going one block down. And as you can see, lots of that beautiful deep slate here. Let's go ahead and light it up a little bit. Not a lot of monsters coming in at this point. Not a lot. And I assume that we're getting probably quite deep now. What do we want here? I'm going to have to gather more stair building resources. Should I YOLO it? Should I just start climbing down? Maybe I should just YOLO it. I should. I'm relatively built up. I'll probably be fine. How's that for famous last words? But I'm not as worried about it because I am in a position where, that's really deep. That's really deep. I don't know about this one. Friends and neighbors, I don't know about this one. I'm getting a little leery, little concerned about the depth to which we're going here. Though, one nice thing that we do have on our side is that once we get deep enough, there's a very strong possibility that we start finding diamonds. Now, diamonds are that's the step up from iron. Diamonds even better than iron. In fact, quite a bit better, and that's going to be, for a lot of the game, diamonds are really going to be, they're going to be our big boy, our big boy or our big girl armor and tools. Use diamond for quite a while, even late game, a lot of diamond. Interesting. I think I've gotten to the bottom. I think we're at the bottom. Is this the very bottom of the pit? I believe it is. And interesting. Yeah, that looks like it. Okay. All right. So let's we'll go up and we'll see if we can do a little bit more exploration here. We'll see where we can go to. Probably have to cut some of this out in order to get up. But luckily I did kind of leave usable stairs here. Pretty usable. Not the finest in the world. Hardly the stairs of the Taj Mahal. But good enough that we can make our way up. And we will want to, I'm going to have to do this again, but we will want to be keeping those torches there because that's what's going to prevent any further spawns. And unless, here's some easy gold. We'll go ahead and pick up this gold. And I'll remember what it's actually used for at some point. You might notice that I'm cutting out a lot of the stone around it, and that's because I don't like how it looks just to cut out the gold. I don't know why. I've always done this. Now we have a new recipe unlocked. Very good. Go ahead and pick that up, and let's continue ascending upwards, because I did see that there were some other areas of the cave that might be worth taking a peek at. A little bit different. Now, again, we have to watch what we're doing here. Make sure we're being safe. One thing that's a serious risk that you can run into is skeletons. And now, I know I said before, skeletons not that big of a problem. Technically true, unless you're climbing. Now, if you're climbing, one issue that you can run into with skeletons is their arrows that they shoot you with, that they so love to shoot you with, have knockback. They'll push you back when the arrow strikes you. A real arrow probably wouldn't be likely to do this. I strongly suggest that you do not attempt to find out. But in Minecraft, the arrows absolutely do. You will suffer knockback, which means if you're climbing, if you're, for example, towering up, like I just was, on just kind of like a little one-block thing there, there is a strong possibility, and it's happened to me before, that you can be struck by an arrow. Oh, come on. You can be struck by an arrow that can knock you off your perch, and even though the arrow itself not very dangerous to us since we are so nicely armored, it can knock us off and we can suffer deceasement. We can be deceased, we can be killed from the fall damage. Less than ideal. I'm just going to cut this out here, and we'll just do like a couple, maybe 3 in a row. We'll do 3 in a row. Okay, so we've got a whole other area of the caves here. Likelihood that there are going to be enemies is pretty high. Likelihood that there's going to be diamonds also hopefully pretty high. I'm all about the diamonds right now. I would like to become a Minecraft jeweler. That's going to be my new goal in life. We do have some iron. That's beautiful. I love it. We're going to grab that, absolutely. But I'm going to just light up real quick here, just to make sure we don't have any unpleasant folks, any unpleasant personalities sneaking up on us. And it looks like we're pretty safe for now. I'm already liking this area of the cave much more than the other one. We've got even more there. That's lovely. That's beautiful. I'm noticing that the way down in this cave is a much gentler slope than the previous one, which was sort of, I think you could fairly characterize that as being not so much a slope as it was just kind of a precipice. So this one doing much better things for me. I like the long, gentle walk down. I'm at the point in my life where, especially in caverns, I'm not necessarily looking for excitement. I'm not necessarily looking always for adventure. Sometimes I just like to have a leisurely little stroll with my underground buddies in the dark of the caverns, just to kind of see the sights, see everything that's going on, all of the extraordinary things that are happening here. Did we get all the iron? Yes, we did. Just going to fill that in to make it just a little bit easier to walk there. Also nice to do every so often because that gives you sort of a visual indicator to where you've come from. We've got even more iron here. We're rich in iron. Remember how I said before, it's quite easy to find iron in caverns. As you can see, I spoke the truth. I would not lie to you. I would do anything before I did that. Lots of iron here in the caverns. We've already picked up 24, which is going to keep us, that's going to keep us in iron for some time. What is this? What is that? I am straying dangerously close, by the way, to getting lost in here. Since I'm not really, I've never seen any such thing. What is this? What is it? I must know. Yeah, I'm coming dangerously close to being lost in here. What? I'm not really paying attention to where I'm going because now I'm getting excited. So many wonderful things to see. What is that? Well, I have to hit it. Of course, I have to. I'm sure anybody watching this who knows what this is, perhaps it's something dangerous, is screaming at me, no, please don't. All right, we've got water, so that's not overly helpful. We'll close that back up. Yeah, not overly helpful. It doesn't really help us out, but I was kind of just, we've got more. It's like a lava block. Interesting. What happens if I break it? Does it go down? But this one's weird because, like, I guess it is a lava block. I guess that's all it was. I wonder if we're on top of one of those. Well, we haven't seen. Gosh, we haven't seen. I can pick up the lava block. I can. I can. I love it. I love it. I want to keep it. I want to keep it forever. I love it. I love it so much. Beautiful lava block. Makes the entire cave expedition worth it. Okay. So where are we? Dropped a torch over there. Let's try and pick that up. I should be. We're a little low on torches. A little lower than I would prefer. Many dropped. Interesting. Why did this happen? Oh, you know that probably what happened is the water took the torches out. Okay, that makes sense. Gosh, what do we have going on here? I think this opens to the sky. I think it does. I think it does open to the sky. Absolutely. Interestingly, actually, we're not that far underground. Hello, Mr. Zombie. I wish that you would not. See, you could have lived a long and a happy and a fulfilling life. You could have, but you chose to attack me, and I had little choice but to fight back. What else can I do? I can't let you take me out. I can't let you stop me in this glorious adventure that I've embarked on. That's hardly good, hardly a good thing. Nobody likes it. Generally, as I've said before, just not the vibe. I guess we're just gonna pop out here. Just kind of see where we're at. And just right in time for daybreak. Beautiful, beautiful. I love it. Okay. Interesting. Now, let's see. Let me think. Oh, I see my home. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful from the distance. Lovely to see. We'll pick up some. Don't look. Look away. Look away. We're just picking up some extra meat. Nothing going on here. Some food that just kind of magically appears that nobody has to worry about. Don't worry. He's just asleep. He'll get back up. And yes, you can see here, okay, so we've come out some distance from the house, not too far. And you can see here, too, that this kind of illustrates some of the wisdom of building a tower just on one side of the house and not building 4 towers from every side, because that always lets me know what direction I'm facing the house from. So that's very good. Let's jump over here. I see, so we're well equipped for mines now. We're pretty well equipped with food and can't have too much. I'll always pick up more. But interesting, so this water here, the river, it looks like it's entering into the cave again over here, and now I kind of want to see what's going on there. What's happening? What's happening? Is it a drop-off? I wonder if it's a drop-off. Let's go ahead and get ourselves stocked up with food there. Wisdom tells me that I should go back to the house. Less wisdom tells me that I did not bring my boat, but I just want to take just a little peek, just a little one to see. Oh, okay, it just cuts right through. It just goes out on the other side. All right. So nothing too crazy there. We did get to the point where we'd probably looked at most of the mine. Or not the mine, it's not a mine, the cavern, most of the cavern. I think we'd seen most of it. Probably not all of it. There's probably quite a bit more. Where's my home? There it is. Okay, we're around the back. Oh, we should be quite close to the village. We could visit the gentle villagers now, watch them plying their trades. What's that? Oh, it's lava. That might be the pit that I fell into before, I think. Is it? Maybe not. Anyway, so we'll go and visit the villagers. We have to be careful here, of course, because from the village, I don't know with the decreased render distance if I'm going to be able to see my house. I still can here, so in all probability, I'm not going to get lost. But let's take a look at the village. Not one of their pet cows. So we'll go ahead and take its resources for our own selves. But of course, you have to be careful here. The cats, obviously pets. Don't want to hit the cats. They're lovely. And in fact, you can get them. You can keep them as pets yourself. Oh, look at this boy right here. This is an iron golem. Sort of like a big robotic sort of guy who he just hangs out, guards the village, keeps anything bad from happening. And when monsters come in at night, typically he will fight them. Now, if you attack him, he will also fight you. And he's quite a difficult fight, especially if we're at this level where I know it seems like we're invulnerable, that we're extraordinary with all of our, our armor build up and everything, that we're looking really good. But in fact, an iron golem is still going to present significant problems for us. So we're not going to want to attack him. And is there any reason to? I mean, really, he's a good guy. He's keeping peace in the neighborhood. Never hurt a soul, really, except for zombies. And typically, even I believe that the zombies have to, I think the zombies might have to attack first before he'll attack. I'm just checking in the villagers' houses. Sometimes they have chests that we can look into, that we can check out. And sometimes in the chests, there are things that will say they're not really using at this time that we can borrow permanently for our own gain, for our own good. Let's just sneak around in here. I can't remember if I did this already. I might have. Pumpkins, I love the pumpkins. I might end up, oh, we already went in that one. I might end up growing some on my roof. We'll see. One thing that I'm seeing here too, though, is that they do have some sugar cane growing here. I think this actually is growing pretty much naturally, but I'm going to want to harvest that. We're going to need to grow that at one point or another in the game. Frankly, I can't remember why, but I remember in a previous game I'd grown quite a lot of sugar cane. To the point where I had a full-on sugarcane farm that was producing very, very much of it. Actually, I've done that in a couple of games. But it's just been so long. Now I'm at the point where I can't see my house. So we're just going to want to be careful that we kind of continue in a straight line here, that we don't diverge too much from the straight line. We should still be able to get back. I just want to take a look here and see if there's anything interesting going on. I see there's some really interesting mountains. I see there's an enormous crevasse. So this will kill you if you fall into it. Not good. Not the vibe, again, not the vibe. And my senses have, my better sense, my better ideas have taken over. I think I'm actually going to go back because we still don't have a locator map. And we're going to want a locator map. That's going to be important. I don't want to stray too far from my beautiful, beautiful home without having that locator map. But we will go ahead and perhaps pick up just a little bit of extra food along the way, being careful that we don't fall in any large holes. I have to remember that there is the large hole over here, which certainly has the potential of causing issues. And if I fall into that, it won't be the end of the world, but I will be very sad, very dismayed, because, of course, we have this beautiful set of iron armor now that's enabled us to go into the caves with really very little difficulty at all, if hardly any difficulty, really. Nothing. Oh, that's quite a lot of water. You see the bubbles there. There's some lava underground, or some lava blocks, I believe, is what causes that. But yeah, with very little difficulty at all, we were able to enter and traverse the caves. So, of course, I don't want to lose that ability. And the iron suit, as beautiful as it is, hello, Mr. Skeleton. I would have left you alone, sir. I would have left you alone if you hadn't drawn a bead on me. That could have, you could have lived to fight another day, my dude. But alas, he was a little too aggressive for his own good, and perhaps did not realize from the distance where he was that I was wearing such a beautiful and well-nigh invulnerable suit of armor. But again, that suit of armor will not protect us in the event of a fall. It's not going to help with that. So we always want to be careful that we're in, really, I don't think there is much of anything that can protect us in the event of a fall. If the fall is high enough, there is some stuff in the later game once we get into enchantments, because there is magic in Minecraft. You can enchant things, you can enchant weapons, you can enchant armor, and to accentuate its abilities, to give it new abilities. Very fun, and really almost even required for beating the games. That's a bit of a drop there. Now, I believe that armor will, yes, it absolutely will lessen the damage as you fall. But if you fall from high enough, then you're pretty much done. There's not a lot that can be done to rescue you. You will unfortunately become deceased. Am I not picking this up? Oh no, my inventory is full. Well, this should be easy to fix. Do we have... We'll get rid of the cobblestone. We don't really need that for much of anything. And we're at the point now where our inventory is full. Am I carrying feathers? I'm actually going to want feathers, because we're going to need... we have a bow now. We're going to want to be able to make arrows for our bow, and that'll require that we have feathers as well as flint, which you can get from gravel. So if I remember, there we go. So there's our house, and there's our stairs up. We're just going to go, we're going to jump up here. We had a good exploration. I think that I'm going to need to go back to the caverns, most likely, because I feel like there are parts of the depths that I haven't plumbed. I feel like perhaps that we didn't hit every single thing there, that there's probably more that can be found out, that can be discovered and explored. But for right now, it seems to me that we're getting about to the end of this episode. We have resources that need to be stowed away. We're really going to have to look to, at some point here, we're going to have to look into putting a basement or an addition of some kind onto our structure, because we're going to quickly gather far more resources than we can adequately store just in these kind of two chests here. What do we need to get rid of? We'll get rid of that. We've got some, we can go ahead and load this. Go ahead and load our chicken in there. We'll take that out. So we're gonna need to, I'm just left clicking here to do that, to choose like a specific amount that I want to go in there. Let's put that in there, and this can go in here. We'll get that all cooked up, and I think we actually have a little bit more raw meat even that needs to be cooked up, but that's all right. We do quite a bit actually, quite a bit, but we'll get to that. Not a problem. You can see here also, by the way, that I'd gotten to the point where I collected so much cobblestone that it's now inside its own chest. The other chest was just getting far too full, so we didn't want that. And right now, currently, this is just kind of a general purpose sort of chest. Oh, are all of these cooking? These are all cooking. Okay, so we'll wait for the gold ore. What else do we have here? Wool, not going to be terribly important to us at this time. I forget what my own chests are. Don't have to worry too much about the wool. We'll go ahead and store that. Magma block, I like these. They're fun. I want to keep it around. I really just like how they look. I don't know if they really have any use at all. I'm relatively certain that rotten flesh has absolutely no use. I don't know why I'm keeping it, but I am keeping it. And let's see here. What else do we want to do? Look at that. We didn't even use up our first pickaxe. That's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. And let's jump in here, get our chickens out, toss that gold in, and we're eventually going to, right now I'm just kind of keeping all my food there in the corner. We are eventually going to want to have an entire food chest. That's going to be something that's going to be relatively important for us. I'll toss the feathers in there. I'm not quite ready to make a bow yet and carry it around, but it is going to be something that we're going to want for the future, absolutely. Toss my magma blocks in there. I want to keep them. How are we doing with the cooking? All right, we're nearly there. We're nearly done. Got our gold ingots, got our iron ingots, and the sun is going down on another day. How long was this? Was it 1 day, 2 days? I can't remember. I can't remember exactly, but it was a good run, good day. Escapade into the caverns led to no casualties whatsoever. We found some great resources. Didn't find diamond yet, but I'm confident that we're going to. I can see the diamonds just coming up. I can see, I can feel their glint. It's reflected in my eyes even, perhaps. So I think that we are going to have those quite soon. Probably mostly what we'll do is we'll stick to just the doing just the iron tool, or I'm sorry, doing the, we'll keep 9 there. That'll allow us to make 3 iron pickaxes. Probably we'll stick with just doing the tools out of diamond first, because that iron armor will keep us going for a little while with no problems. But eventually we are absolutely going to want to get to a place, we absolutely are going to get to a place where we're fighting enemies so monstrous and traversing environments so extreme that we're going to want the very best of the best armor, and that's when that diamond armor is going to come in. And there is armor that is even more powerful, even more indestructible than diamond armor, but we'll save that for another day. That is still quite a distance away. It will take a long time to get to, so we're not going to worry about that just yet. And with that, I believe it's time to say goodnight.